Boys. I cannot wait to get into the discussion. There's so much beef on X. Like, I've been on X going back and forth with people just for the love of the game and because I loved this show. This was genuinely my favorite show ever for a while. And this video is for actual fans of the show because they're the only ones that will understand where I'm coming from. I swear to God, a lot of these people I see online seem like they only started watching after season 3 because I think that's when it became super popular. Regardless, this video will just be about the finale. And depending on how this goes, I'm thinking of making a season 5 review, but this is only the finale and only for actual fans. Okay, if you're here to tell me that it's satire and that I don't understand the show, respectfully, just fuck off. I really do understand this show, believe me. Some will see that and some won't, but whatever. Okay, let's start with Homelander. Did he deserve to die? Yes, of course. And Butcher deserved to kill him. That aspect of it satisfied me, and especially because Butcher was always my favorite character. Now, what I will say is, Homelander offering to suck his dick and eat his shit and crying and whining like a little bitch was so ridiculous. And I'm so tired of people saying that's who he actually is. Bro, yes, I get that. Have him beg for his life. It's the most vulnerable position he's ever been in. I get that. Have him beg for his life, offer Vought like he did, offer a shapeshifter to turn into Becca. I thought that was okay. But man, this is one of the best villains we've ever had. Okay, he deserved to go out way better than that. And I just don't care what people say. Yes, he's done awful things. How would we feel if Vader started begging to suck off the Emperor or eat Luke's shit? Like, are you kidding? I immediately tweeted, season 1 Homelander would not have gone out like this because there is a clear difference in how this character is portrayed from season 1 to now. I understand a gradual progression of the character going insane or just not giving a fuck, whatever. But that felt so unnecessary. And to be honest, it seemed like Anthony Starr overly played into that as well. And I'm just like, are we serious right now? People want to say this is just that type of show. But again, this is where my real boys fans need to back me up, okay? This show was not always a bunch of fucking Family Guy episodes. There was depth to Homelander. Let's look at the reality in which they set up. He was raised in a lab with no love on purpose and psychologically trained to crave affection and validation that he's never gotten. Okay, this is someone with a tragic backstory. And from his environment, you could see why he would end up the way he did. And even that is hard to say because the whole him being God angle was not something I thought was very good, to be honest. I want to leave that for my season review, but regardless, my point is this is not a mustache twirling villain. This is, or at least was, a real character. I just think they could have done the same thing or had the same impact, but without him being such a pathetic, whiny bitch at the end. For example, like when Butcher found him in the uranium trap or whatever that thing Soldier Boy put him in, he was literally getting cooked alive. And at that moment was at his weakest, before this. But he still stood up and talked shit to Butcher. That fight at the end, the one that kills Homelander, the fight was good. I mean, believe me, many power scaling issues, but it was just nice to see some sort of, intense action. And, that's another thing. These people want to tell you this show isn't about action scenes. It's not a Marvel movie. Okay, again, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it matters. The boys fans know this shit already. In what way have we ever gotten a Marvel level fucking action scene? That's not the point. This is the last season ever. This show is huge. We're dealing with super powered beings. Conflict is just naturally going to happen. And we did get action. I mean, episode 1 started off with a banger, bro. It wasn't Avengers level, but it was character driven action. That's all I'm saying. That's what we're all saying, bro. And I really thought we would get a Homelander crash out. Like, this is the last stand for everyone. This is Homelander's last sort of mercy on humanity. Accept me as God or you're dead, which he does say. And I thought after that we would get at least like 2 minutes of him punishing non-believers. I was actually shocked to see Butcher and them pull up on Homelander mid-speech because then I knew, okay, no crash out. He's going to die right now. And that's exactly what happened. Again, I did like the fight, but really I think it's because I was just starved of something, of that level. Moving on, the episode as a whole felt pretty rushed, and it almost seemed like they started the season with this finale in mind, or maybe even shot the finale first and went from there. It seems like they realized we can wrap everything in 1 hour, so let's use these other episodes for some Vought Rising setup, some character moments, but the episode in and of itself felt rushed. It definitely had its moments though. I will get into the things I liked later in the video. But let's move on to the Deep. Now, I was starting to think, damn, maybe he does make it out alive. I thought Homelander grilling him, just cooking and roasting his ass made sense. And his reaction after that was pretty funny. His fight with Starlight was okay. Usually, I feel like she doesn't sell her action scenes at all. She just doesn't know how to sell a good punch. Or whenever she uses her powers, it looks kind of wonky, but I think she did a pretty good job here. We have to assume this octopus or whatever stuck its tentacle up the Deep's ass. Otherwise, it makes no sense how they penetrated his skin. And that makes, I think, 2 times where someone died from having something rammed up their ass this season. Regardless, a pretty fitting end for the Deep. But for Starlight, so they make a big deal about there's no power around, she can't use her abilities, just throughout the show. But they're on a beach where I assume there's no electricity, no nothing. But she has full fucking strength to blow this dude 100 feet into the water and then apparently fly back immediately. I did think the dialogue within the fight was okay. At least the idea behind Annie trying to just get it through his head, even though she has no reason to say shit to him. She'd be in the right to just want to kill him without any of that. You can tell they really want to make her seem almost like Queen Maeve was when Annie met her. Just more cold, uncaring, and maybe like harder. I mean, I can see that. The fish screaming justice for whatever that thing's name is, the octopus that he was fucking on. But they're screaming her name and shit, bro. It's just like so embarrassing, in my opinion. It's just embarrassing because we know what that's alluding to. It's just like, bro, they're fucking fish. like, come on, man. Moving on to Butcher. Now, I'm kind of torn with this one. The ending makes sense, and it does echo the comic book slightly. I honestly thought they'd pull a Thanos where in his last moment, you think he's lost, and he's going out gracefully, but right before his death, he pulls the trigger. I kind of wanted that to happen, but he did get a fitting end, and I'm super glad he got to kill Homelander. The acting was great. Like, after he kills Homelander, you can't really tell what he's feeling. It's like a mix of this doesn't make him feel better, a bit of I can't believe I actually did it. I mean, it was great. I don't really know. I can't put my finger on what he was thinking in that moment. And that's why he's my favorite character, man. I really wanted him to pull that trigger. One thing I thought would have been really cool, and they kind of did it, was when Butcher was punching the shit out of Homelander. It would have been really cool if they did what Kratos did to Zeus in God of War 3, where it's just like overly long sequence of him punching Homelander, and it just fills the screen with blood until the screen is completely red. Regardless, I really like that shot, though, from behind Homelander looking up at Butcher, just beating the dog shit out of him. It kind of reminded me when he killed Gunpowder. A lot of intensity and emotion behind those punches. But seriously, why did they have Homelander talk like a zesty gay guy in this scene? Like, that just isn't even his character, bro. The second he put the detonator down before he fought Huey, I was like, damn, I knew what was going to happen. But I'm glad that they didn't have like Huey start whooping his ass and shit. Like, he was beating the shit out of Huey. Also, by the way, before I get into the things I liked, the asshole jokes during Frenchie's funeral were just so unnecessary and not even funny. I was like, are we seriously doing this right now? And the Elon Musk reference, it's just like, bro, can we please just exist in the boys universe and not our own? For one fucking episode, can we just not, reference our real world? And another thing, before I get into the things I liked, I thought Terror dying was very random. I thought maybe they would say it was from the radiation coming out of Kamiko. See, something just as small as that could have explained it easy. Unless I missed something, please let me know. But that was just so sudden. And then how can 2 civilian people sneak into Vought Tower and literally be in the 7 meeting room fucking headquarters? I mean, Huey just picks a lock and next thing you know, he's right there. I mean, in season 2, they needed Lamplighter's access card to get in. Then Huey had to cut off his fucking hand to get through the building. It's just like that bugs me, And you know what? Butcher is 100% right. They needed to end Soups. All they did was give them a black eye, just like Butcher said. They should have just had Kamiko blast the V out of Starlight and then release the fucking virus. Fuck him. And for him to be completely blinded by Huey's resemblance to Lenny, and that's enough for him to not notice Huey grabbing a gun to shoot him, that's just lazy, man. But Carl Urban's performance in that last scene of Butcher dying was absolutely fantastic, and I'm gonna miss this character so much. Now I just wonder how Huey even got Butcher's body out of there without getting arrested. But okay, the things I did like, I liked Huey's end. It was a fitting end, and for it to end where it all started, the place of Robin's death and them naming the baby after Robin, I thought that was great for Huey. And the final shot of him was good, but it's like this dude hasn't been the main character in so long. So it kind of just reminded me as like, oh yeah, this started with Huey. And they remembered that he's a tech guy, or at least he has knowledge in that field, and had him actually acknowledge that when he shot off the fire extinguisher thing inside the White House. It's just funny because that hasn't showed up in forever, and that was his thing in season 1. But yeah, good for him. His call with the president, I mean, they kind of have that they have that room to bring him back potentially, but I don't think, Huey would be a selling point. I don't think I would start watching a show because Huey's in it, to be honest. MM taking in Ryan and getting to be with Monique, I thought that was great. And because I think MM is a super underrated character, and I like that he got a happy ending. To be honest, I was expecting and kind of wanting everyone to die. I mean, before the season started, I was like, man, this is going to be dark. I wanted a dark ending, or I was looking forward to that, but I'm not upset to see him, make it out alive. To be honest, because if he would have died, that really would have been tragic. He's like the only one with shit to lose at this point. Oh, Father dying made sense, but the way he died kind of confused me because that gag was set up. The gag, as in the fucking ball gag, was set up not to fly off of him when he screams during his weird shit with Ashley. But then it's like, okay, if he did use that during whatever it is they do, would it have blown his head off like it just did? I mean, you could argue he wouldn't use that much power in those cases with Ashley. Whatever. Well, overall, though, I really liked that character strictly because of the performance given by the actor. He was great. But yeah, man, those are my just quick thoughts. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Pretty mid and pretty tame, to be honest. I don't know what happened this season. I really thought maybe they saved all their budget for the last episode, but it did not feel that way at all. I was genuinely shocked to see how small scaled it was just because the earlier seasons felt a lot more lived in. Like this world was actually a place with regular people and life. And this whole season felt very small. There are points to be made. And again, this is for fans of the show, like actual fans from the jump, okay? Not if you came in at season 3 and 4 and you think that this is how the show always was. Because there was really like magic to season 1. No homo. Like that shit was just something else. If you made it this far, thank you for watching again, man. Bear with me. I'm just kind of just freestyling this whole shit. Just trying to get my raw thoughts. I kind of made some bullet points as to what I wanted to touch on. But, you can tell I'm being sporadic. I'm kind of just thinking about all this shit at once. So let me know what you thought below. Let me know what you thought in the comments, man. I'm really trying to just get a discussion going. Because I've been on X having discussions with people that are brain dead, bro. I need my real fans. Not my fans. I need real fans of the boys that know what the fuck I'm talking about to chime in and back me up. Peace.